All right. Welcome. Welcome. We back again. Once again. Time and time again, my friends. And you know what day it is? It's Wednesday. Had a little bit of technical difficulties, so we'll talk about 28 minutes up to that. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be hosting a live stream. And what we do on this live stream is just talk about all things trading. So what I'm doing right now, until I get any other opinions, otherwise, I'll just hop right on here. And what I do is go over just a few pairs, some commodities, a few Forex majors and Bitcoin. And then I just look at the possible directions the market may head over the next coming day. So over the next day or two, just to keep you updated before I come back again for another live stream. So if you are interested in that, make sure you are subscribed. And if you are subscribed, make sure you turn the post notifications on. That way, whenever I do post any educational content or do a live stream like this here, regardless of the time, you get updated right away so you can tap in, stay locked in with me, and get some of this valuable education. Now, once again, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m., I'll be hosting the live stream. So just make sure you stay tuned for that. And then as well, I post educational content, free educational content on this channel throughout the week, any day, anytime. So make sure you are locked in with me so you don't miss. And these live streams are recorded and then posted later, so it's not a necessity that you get into the live streams and you're present while I'm doing those, but it would help if you are locked in right when I do the live stream. That way, any questions you do have, I can get those answered on the live stream right here. So if you do have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat. If you do have any pairs that you would like me to go over that I do not touch, feel free to type them in the chat as well, and I will make sure that I go over those as well before I end the live stream. So with all that said, I do appreciate you viewing. If you are here, drop something in the chat for me, just so I know you are present. But other than that, go ahead, do what you need to do in order to stay locked in. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Make sure you got the post notifications turned on if you do not already. And then as well, make sure you drop a thumbs up just for me being on here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, man. So let's go ahead and get started. We always start off with XAU USD. From the monthly time frame, you can see that we've been anticipating the market coming into this area, just coming and retesting previous structure, resistance that should act as resistance once again. Coming back to this area, we are aggressively pushing up on the monthly time frame. And if we do drop down to the weekly time frame, last we spoke about this, we wanted to see this weekly candle break above some of this structure up in here, come back for a retracement, and then continue to the upside, which is what's currently happening right now. And then if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that we last spoke about this pair, wanting to see this market come in to some of these levels in here, show some sort of retracement, explode to the upside, previous structure resistance now turn support for more continuation to the upside on this pair. So we are technically above some of the daily structure. We broke and closed above the daily resistance right in this area, where we should see this area, this zone, start to act as some sort of support once again for the market to continue to the upside, just following simple market structure. Then we can go over XAG USD. From the monthly time frame, pushing to the upside very aggressively, looking to approach previous structure resistance that should act as resistance once again, but we are moving to the upside very aggressively. If we look at the weekly time frame, on the weekly, we've shot up, still impulsing to the upside. So whenever this impulse does end on the weekly time frame, we do have some levels in the market that it could possibly come back to for a retest before continuing to the upside. Then if we look at the daily time frame, you can see we are just breaking above some daily structure. If we do get this impulse completed, we're already started to break above and close above. If we do get some sort of retracement back down to some of these levels, we could see more continuation to the upside just from a simple daily structure, a daily time frame structure standpoint. If we look at XBT USD on the monthly time frame, pushing to the upside very aggressively, broken closed above several levels of structure, coming back now for some sort of retracement is what it looks like, but we are still pushing to the upside until these monthly levels get broken to the downside once again. Now we are trapped in between structure resistance and structure support, but we do have the most common pattern in the market on our side, where we've broken above several levels of structure on the weekly time frame, came back for some retracement, previous structure resistance, now turned support. From there, we just want to see the continuation to the upside. Now if we look at the daily time frame, you can see that we are just playing around in between these levels, consolidating back and forth until we break out to either one of these sides, to the upside or to the downside. It's best to probably just lay off on XBT USD until we get a better idea of where this market wants to head. Now we can look at US oil, and on US oil from the monthly time frame, we're pushing to the downside. We are bearish, we're below some monthly structure. And if we do look at the weekly time frame, you can see the weekly coming back for some sort of retracement, but we are still below, or currently retesting, previous structure support from the weekly time frame, where you want to see this market react as if it is going to be some resistance. So once again, this is the weekly time frame. We still have 2 days before this candle closes, but if we do jump down to the daily time frame, you can see we are making a move to the upside, breaking above some structure, currently getting ready to close quite bullish. These last 3 days are starting to get very aggressive and very strong in terms of momentum. We have pushed down with these black candles, these bearish candles, but we're starting to, with less bullish candles, cover some of the area that we did on this move down. So we would need to see a very strong rejection, some sort of indication that the market wants to continue to the downside just off the simple multi-time frame analysis for more continuation to the downside. And then if this market does want to continue to the upside, we would need to see the market come into some of these levels for a nice retracement for more continuation to the upside. So now we can jump to the Forex market, and on the Forex market, we're going to start off with Euro USD. And on Euro USD, we are currently above previous monthly support that should act as resistance until it is broken through. So now that we are starting to get the break through this area, we can start to look for possible moves to the upside with a little more confidence. If we look at the weekly time frame, you can see that this week we just want to see the market explode to the upside, breaking above some of this weekly resistance, monthly resistance, and we are starting to get that. And then if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see we last pointed out that we wanted to see the market break above some of these levels, come back for some retracements. If we do get a retracement right into this area, we could expect there to be a possible TMCP1 setup for more continuation to the upside. Now GBP USD on the monthly time frame, pushing to the upside very aggressively. On the weekly time frame, starting to break above some weekly resistance. And then if we do look at the daily time frame, you can see we have a nice and easy TMCP, the most common pattern in the market, with a continuation to the upside, creating a higher high. So now from here, if we do continue to get the impulse and it comes back for some sort of retracement into some of these levels, we could expect the market to just continue trend, making higher highs and higher lows. AUD USD on the monthly time frame. Get rid of all that. AUD USD on the monthly time frame, currently approaching previous structure support from the monthly time frame aspect. That should now act as resistance, but we are getting an aggressive move to the upside. that if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see we had a short-term retracement for 1 week, and we've started to make moves to the upside very aggressively on this weekly time frame. And then if we drop down to the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, you can see we've just been riding this trend line to the upside, creating higher highs. What we need to see is this impulse complete. So if we get a break above some of these levels with an impulse, come back for a retracement to obvious and probable levels, and then we start to show signs of the next impulse continuing, we could look for this opportunity with the TMCP1 for more continuation to the upside. And if we do jump to USD CAD from the monthly time frame, we are bullish on the monthly time frame aspect. We are above some monthly structure, so we have some previous structure resistance that we broke and closed above, came back for the retracement right at previous structure resistance, now turned support, and it looks like we're wanting to start the next impulse to the upside from the monthly time frame perspective. What's up, Muhammad? You doing all right? Appreciate you hopping in the chat, big dog. If you got any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. But we could see more continuation just from a monthly time frame perspective if we do drop down to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we can see we are starting to come back for some retracement. We have this move to the downside, came back up, retracement, explode to the upside. We could possibly see the retracement back down to the neckline for more continuation, which could provide the momentum we need to see for the monthly TMCP to go ahead and complete itself. And then if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see we are starting to get rejected right up around these areas, but we are creating this pattern, which we know is a pattern that completes 80 to 90% of the time at the neckline. If you would like to get any of the strategies that I use on a daily basis to profitably trade the Forex market, go ahead and click the link in the description. It'll take you right over to my page where I think there is some very, very valuable information along with a few strategies for you to use. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out for me, please. But if we look at the daily time frame, if we get more continuation to the downside, we could expect there to be some sort of move back up to go retest the neckline, and that could possibly provide the momentum we need to see more continuation to the upside. NZD USD monthly time frame breaking above some monthly structure, continuing to the upside as we are right now. And if we do drop down to the weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, we can see that we are aggressively pushing to the upside. So we literally have made just a straight move up from the weekly time frame perspective on NZD USD, and we're coming into previous structure resistance that should act as resistance once again. So we should start to see some corrections out of this market, but it does not necessarily mean we have to. But if we look at the daily time frame, on the daily, we last pointed out in the last live stream that we had some previous structure resistance that we want to see the market break above just to continue trend. And now that we've gotten that with the TMCP, the most common pattern in the market happens on all time frames over and over and over. This is the most common pattern that you will see in the Forex market. It did complete itself yesterday, creating a higher high. From here now, if we do get the retracement back down right in this area, and we start to see signs of an explosion to the upside, we could look for a possible TMCP1 using our strategies. Now we can slide over to USD CHF. On USD CHF, we've been aggressively pushing to the downside, especially from the monthly time frame perspective. You can see that we've broken a few levels of structure. We have had structure resistance here, and we also had some structure support right in this area. We're starting to break below that. The way that the candle is not the way that the candle is going to close from the monthly time frame perspective, so keep that in mind. We still have about 16 days before this candle closes, but we could see more continuation to the downside just simply from the monthly time frame. Now on the weekly, we've been anticipating this move to the downside for quite some time. I've been pointing it out that once we get the break and close below some of these levels of structure with a strong impulse, you could start to see the retracement come back in this area for more continuation, but that is from the weekly time frame perspective. For a little more immediate time frame, we can look at the daily time frame and see that we had this falling wedge. Even though you want to see the explosion to the upside, we're starting to get the breakdown below this level, where if we do get some sort of retracement back into these levels, we could see possible trend continuation for more movement to the downside on USD CHF. Now we can go over USD JPY, and on USD JPY on the monthly time frame, we did come into previous structure resistance. So we had resistance in this area, broken closed above it, coming back to retest that level. We did have some sort of rejection out of this level on the last live stream, where it did act as structure support. It was previous structure resistance and acted as support for just a brief moment on the monthly time frame, but now we're starting to break down below it. If we do go ahead and get the impulse completion, we could look for this possible pattern that has a high likelihood of completing for more continuation to the downside, which would be one of my favorite patterns, which is just a simple left shoulder head, and then we would have the area of the right shoulder where you do not want to see that break and close above the left shoulder at all. And then from there, we're in trend continuation with the simple impulse retracement and impulse move. And that's all from the monthly time frame. If we drop down to the weekly time frame, on the weekly, what we can see is that we are still below some weekly support. So we are still technically bearish on this market until broken above that level. But we look like this market wants to go ahead and make the push to the downside. As we are now, we have a nice and easy impulse to the downside, breaking structure, came back for the retracement, retesting previous structure support, should act as resistance, and from there we could see the continuation to the downside. Now if we look at the daily time frame, we can see that we do have almost a perfect setup where we have the impulse to the downside, coming back for some complex correction, getting rejected, and then starting to make the move to the downside from this level. There could be a possible situation where we come back, retest this neckline of this M pattern before we continue to the downside, but this is more than likely where the market is headed, just based off the trends and the multi-time frame analysis. So that pretty much sums up the Forex market. Then we can slide on down to BTC USD, and if we look at this from the monthly time frame, keeping it consistent, you can go back and watch the live streams that we've done previously. Just very consistent and simple. On the monthly time frame, we have previous structure resistance all in this area, where on this side it will be acting as support to some degree. So we have all of this area that could be some monthly support. It's not exactly 1 point on the chart. What's up, Muhammad? What's up, Muhammad? You doing all right? But we do have this level that should act as structure support just from a monthly time frame perspective. So we can drop down to the weekly time frame and see that we are starting to get the retracement, even though we've had a move to the downside very aggressively. This is considered a weaker retracement, as these candles are not as momentous as this bearish candle. We're starting to get a weak retracement, which is ideally what we want to see. It's coming right into previous structure support that should act as resistance. If I do extend this level through here, where from here we could see the possible continuation to the downside. So until this market starts to really break above structure, Euro USD, sell or buy, I'll go back over it. I did touch on that, but we can hit it once again. And just give me 1 second, we'll finish this up. But until we start to see a very aggressive break above some of these levels, we could still anticipate that the market wants to continue to the downside, since the higher time frames are still showing bearish. But I do expect the market to explode to the upside, to at least come retest some of these highs in 2024, which is the next halving event, which is what caused the first explosion to the upside for the big run up of Bitcoin. But if we look at Bitcoin from a daily time frame perspective, you can see that we've had this level marked out for quite some time. We did not get the breakdown below that we were looking for just the trend continuation for the market to come into some of these levels. We are starting to get the retracement back up into some of these key levels, which from here could prompt us to see the market start to make moves to the downside on Bitcoin. But if we do start to eventually break back above some of these levels with some daily structure and strong candles, it could be a situation where we could start to buy this market, because from there we could see just some major moves happening. Don't want to anticipate too far ahead in the future, but right now there's really nothing too interesting on Bitcoin from the strategies that I use, so I'll just let that chill. But once again, if you would like to access the strategies that I use, as well as get some mentorship from me, go ahead and check the link in the description. But Muhammad, I got you. We're gonna hit Euro USD one more time. We'll start from the monthly time frame, and on the monthly time frame you can see that we are pushing to the upside quite aggressively. If we look at these monthly candles, you can see that they are covering more ground than these bearish candles did. So we're starting to come back into some of the territory, some of the range, some of the figures that this bearish market pushed down with this impulse. These 4 black candles, 4 bearish candles, we're starting to cover the same ground with these blue bullish candles. So we're doing it in less time and very aggressively. So we are starting to get an aggressive push to the upside where we could see more continuation. Then if we do drop down to the weekly time frame, just simply looking at market structure, Muhammad, you can see that we've had previous structure resistance right in here, came back for some retracement, exploded to the upside. We found some resistance right in here, came back, retested it, now we're exploding to the upside. And then we can just expect the market to continue to do the same thing, until shown otherwise. So on the weekly time frame, we are bullish as well because we are above some weekly structure. And then if we do drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that this market is currently impulsing to the upside very aggressively. We just completed the most common pattern in the market as well. We've had the move to the upside, come back, retest previous structure resistance, now turn support. From there, had a little complex correction, but we exploded to the upside to create a higher high. So the most common pattern in the market, just a simple impulse to the upside, coming back to retest previous structure broken, and then from there continuing the trend. In this example would be to create a higher high. Since we got the higher high created yesterday, the pattern was completed, but we still have the impulse that is going on currently now. So once this impulse completes itself, Muhammad, there will be the retracement that comes. The market can't move in one direction forever. And then from there, if we do get a retracement back down into some of these levels, depending on where the impulse ends, could look for more continuations to the upside on this market. So it's not necessarily a buy or sell right now. We're still waiting for proper and probable opportunities. So we want to be in very, very likely opportunities and trades that have a good likelihood of going and hitting the take profit that we actually set. So in order to do that, we have to wait for the market to give us exactly, or give me exactly what I'd like to see, consistent setups that I know play out over and over and over in my favor. As it is right now, I'm just letting this market play out until the retracement comes. But when the retracement does start, we do have a level right around in here that would be a magnet to price, just simply based off the pattern. This is a pattern, W pattern, that completes 80 to 90% of the time at the neckline. And from there, the market will come back down, retest this level, and then that'll be putting me in an opportunity or a situation where I could look for more continuations to the upside. So could day trade it back down to the downside using the strategies that are in the description as well. And then from there, we'll be in a perfect trend to go ahead and capitalize on the move to the upside from a daily time frame perspective with the strategies that are in the link in the description as well. So there's 2 ways to do this, or 2 opportunities to trade this, Muhammad. But as it is right now, there's just no good opportunities as far as which way to trade this. We are extremely bullish, so we would like to go ahead and be in on the next buys that happen. But as it is right now, we're still going to need the retracement to come before we look for those opportunities, just because that's simply how the market works. Yeah, no problem, Muhammad. If there are any more pairs, any other questions anyone has, I will be more than happy to answer those questions as well, or look at any other pairs. But if not, please make sure you are subscribed, so when I come back, you can tap right in and be tapped in with the market with me as well. Just staying updated. I do appreciate everyone who's viewed this live stream so far. If you could please drop me a thumbs up. It really helps to spread awareness of what I got going on here. I want to provide just some free education and a place where all types of traders, whether it be beginners or you've been trading for 10 years, could just come chill, hang out, kind of build a community around others helping others. But I don't see too much activity going on, so I'm going to let you all enjoy your Wednesday. I hope everyone is having a profitable day on and off the charts. GJ, you got right in, boy. Muhammad, you almost got left. Almost got that left, but GBP JPY will do the same thing. So we'll do a multi-time frame analysis on this market, starting from the monthly time frame. On the monthly, we've actually exploded to the upside to complete the most common pattern in the market, which does happen over and over and over on all time frames. We have a complex correction right around in this area, and then we finally get the explosion to the upside to create a higher high. From there, you can see the market retesting previous structure resistance. That should now act as support, and we're starting to see that in effect as this month we are starting to make a move to the upside. Now, if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see we've had some support found right in this area. Double bottom. From a double bottom, you would expect the market to reject that area quite aggressively for more explosions to the upside, just following the market structure. And on the daily time frame, you can see that on the daily we are starting to push to the upside quite aggressively with these candles. These bullish candles are starting to make a move to the upside. We did come back to retest previous structure resistance, now turn support. And if you would like to learn how to navigate the market with this clarity, once again, I advise you to check out the link in the description where we've had previous structure resistance broken and closed above. When we come back for a retesting previous structure resistance that's now acting as support, and then from there we can expect more continuation to the upside. Just simply put, on this market there could be an opportunity, as right now we could see this market over the next few days explode to the upside to go ahead and complete the most common pattern in the market. So here's a really good opportunity that may provide an entry overnight. So in between now and tomorrow, there could be a possible entry opportunity, and by then, if it does continue to the upside, you should be risk-free by the end of the week, and then take profit met by the end of the week as well. You got any more for me, Muhammad? I do appreciate you being in the chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, if I don't see any other pairs, any other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Once again, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. I do try to host this live stream, and I've been doing a pretty good job of being consistent and actually staying with those days. So do drop me a thumbs up for that. But I don't see too much more activity. Any other pairs? Any other questions? All right, so I hope everyone is having a profitable day on and off the charts. And until next time.